YouTube channel. And good morning and welcome to Beach Talks. I hope you're keeping well, as I am right here. I don't know, I'm just getting a little bit of a cold. I think this season there's something, There's something. I don't know how you're keeping well. By the way, climate change is real. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, this is a month that's supposed to be warm. Look at it now. Now, welcome to this conversation. Today, it's quite interesting because our guest today, she's here. Personal wealth creation for businesses and even for you. I can't wait as well. I need some money. So she's right here. That's Elizabeth Nkukuu. I shared her profile out there on social, so I'm sure you know. We got a pro in the house. And guess what, guys? Before I even show you her face, look, there's a book called Thrive. We shall be talking more about that. But first, let's warm her. Hi.
Hey.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah, there's a cup there, and I would like you to. I know it's cold. So please feel free. I don't know what you're gonna have there. I have some very hot water to ensure that you're hot. And you're feeling nice. So if you're watching us, please share with a friend. Tell them, hey, you've been struggling. Today you've got to get some tips out there on how you can create some wealth for yourself. Looks like I'm selfish. I serve myself first instead of starting with a guest. It's not normally how it happens. But hey guys, as we say, don't be greedy, share with the needy. So let the people know that we are on and we're ready to go. What did you choose, by the way? What do you have?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Is there something about cinnamon?
We just want to try new things.
Okay, trying new things.
Yeah.
Like we're about to have a conversation on new things.
Yes.
All right, great guys. There you have it. Please let us know as well if you can where you're watching us from. To be nice as well to know that we have company. Where are you watching us from? To be nice to know as well as we have this discussion about personal wealth creation. Elizabeth, it's good to see you. Let me see. I just feel like I need to have some just meat on me because of how I'm feeling. It's like a cold from a distance, and we don't want it to get root. Anyway, guys, grab your cup of tea. Let's get to learn. Elizabeth is here in the house. Nkukuu, I like your name. Does it have a meaning?
The meaning will be so. It's not a meaning that I want to share online at this time.
Oh, it has a meaning that you can't share. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's the freedom that comes with it. But first, let's just talk about you before we get into the conversation. When people ask who Elizabeth is, who do you say you are?
Elizabeth is a mother, a finance and investment professional, passionate about wealth and wealth creation.
Wow.
The mission is to make sure that everybody lives a prosperous life. Yeah. And that is the journey we wake up every day to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's lovely. There you have it. That's Elizabeth for you. I'm just trying to see some of the comments that are coming where guys are watching us from, so please feel free to let us know. That's a good definition of yourself because we need people like you around us. You know. So, first of all, you're an author, definitely, because I have a book here, right?
Yes.
Guys, by the way, she's just tried to be very decent with her profile. I read it and I was like, wow, you're pursuing your PhD as well, right?
Yeah.
In which field?
Finance. I'm an investment finance person. I don't try new things very much. I tried new things, but not in. When it comes to professional, you take one thing. Yeah. You remember the 10,000 rule, 10,000 hour rule? Yeah. Whereby for you to become an expert at something, you have to invest 10,000 hours. Okay. So that is my pursuit. Okay. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. And let's dive in first. And let's just get to understand this topic, as we have called it, personal wealth creation. And we're going to be looking at either, even on the business side of it, how do people create wealth? Yeah. But before we get into how to do it, what informed you that this is something that is very critical? There must have been something that you said, I need to talk about this, I need to write about this.
At the height of COVID, I had young kids. Yeah. They were pretty, 4 months, 5 months. So you get, at that point, you need to get something to get going. Yeah. Then you get to listen to people. We are locked out. There's a lockdown. A lot of people lost their jobs. So I asked myself, what is it that I can do? I have time now. Yeah. What can I do to contribute to the well-being of people? Yeah. So at that point, then I decided, you know what, I have worked this long. I understand a little bit about finance, maybe better than most people. Yeah. So why can I just do this? Okay. So what happened is I started a free webinar. It used to be every Wednesday. And people would log in, different conversation, different topics,
Yeah.
and many questions coming in.
Yeah.
So then I was in my shags. So when I came back to Nairobi, I asked myself, okay, what is it that I can do? I need to continue with this. So I stopped first, and then I was like, I need to continue with this because there is hunger for knowledge. And I think had I known about finance and investment, or maybe investment avenues when I was in college, my help money would still be here. But no, look at me now. I can only say I got help when I went to sleep with nice clothes, and that is it. Okay. So that led to the conversation, how can I continue with this? So then that's when I met James Karundu, and we went through the conversation, like how can we create something that we are not only talking about it, but it is making money for me as it is helping someone change a life. So that when we package this into a course. Okay. And in the process of packaging this into a course, I was like, okay, fine, I've done so much research, why not just put it in something that someone can read? Yeah. There's someone who doesn't want to attend to your class, but this would be a guide to wealth creation. You're right. So that is all how the whole thing has come together.
Wow, lovely, lovely. Great to know. So I think I love the journey. Sometimes there's a need to be filled up. And I think during that season of COVID, there was a lot of, I don't want to call it innovation, but people really coming out in different ways because you're put in a corner to think about, okay, what can I do? Do I just stay at home? So it's very nice that you came up with this. But now let me just dive in first and ask you, from your own research, what's the landscape like? Are people thinking about creating wealth as we speak? Is there an interest, or people need to wake up?
I think it's people are actually looking towards it now. Yeah. I think there is also a lot of market participants pushing it. So you will see a lot of organizations going to universities talking about wealth creation. Yeah. So we are not as ignorant as our time. Because you see, during our time, or for those of us who are a bit older, there was nothing that you could go to, and then someone just tells you, do you know that you can invest in the stock market? Do you know that you can invest in a money market fund? But right now, I think the players are going out there. Okay. The other thing is, as you talk to people, they're like, okay, fine, this is what I need. Yeah. So there are people who naturally will look for it, but there is also someone who's like, okay, I didn't know that I can do this. Yeah. So then the people in the industry need to make a conscious decision to make people hear it first, so that now they can sit up and say, you know what, this is a journey I want to take. Okay, great. Yeah.
So in fact, I've decided whatever notes I've made, because this is also very personal to me, are going to be on the side. Let's just have this conversation. So for the sake of anyone who is just joining us and wondering, okay, what is this all about? Would want to just go down to the definitives and just understand, what are you aiming at? In a wholesome for anybody. We are just about to get to the how. Yeah. What are you aiming at? What is your goal when you see this person who has passed through your hands, if I may use that word? What is your goal?
I want to live life under my terms. Or I want this person to be able to live life under their terms.
Everybody wants to.
So I want to wake up to go to a job that I like because I like it, not because I have to pay bills. Yeah. And it is good to understand that is a journey. I won't wake up one day and just say, you know what, me as Liz, now I can live life under my terms. But I can look at 5 years, 3 years from now and say, this is where I want to go. Yeah. The challenge we have is I want to live life under my terms, and I don't want to trust the process. Yeah. So we need, first of all, to make sure that this person is seeing the process, working the process, because there is work to be done, and then looking at where they want to go. Okay. So for the person who passes through my hands, what I want them to do is to realize that it is possible to live life under your terms, but it's not going to be a quick fix. Okay. It is going to be a journey. Okay. But it is possible.
All right. Yes. We're now getting into the how, the starting point. Let me just give a shout out to Gasheri. Thanks a lot. That's Gasheri of Shed Natural. She's an amazing lady, entrepreneur as well. It's always good to let me know where you're watching us from. Then thanks Kabeleka. He's already asking about how they can get the book. Art designs as well. It comes at an appropriate setting in my life interest. Absolutely. Very good. So feel free to interact with this conversation. Let's get to the how now. Where is the starting point? Because everybody wants to have this amazing personal, wealth, be it through a business or even by yourself. Yeah.
The starting point is taking stock. You cannot use that which you do not have. Yeah. So you have, first of all, to start by saying, this is my situation. Accept it. Yeah. And then say, based on the fact that this is where I am. So by saying where this I am, you're looking at your assets. And assets include your time as an individual. What is it I can do with my time, or what is it that I can really do to increase maybe my income? Unfortunately, now I just look at the finance bit.
Yeah.
So I look at where I am and the income that I'm able to get, and then ask myself, the second step becomes, where do I want to go? Come up with very clear goals and targets. Remember, in most situations, your goals are much more, or many, or they require a lot of time and resource allocation compared to what you have. So then you can now come with a prioritization and then come up with a clear plan. This is where I'm going. This is where I need to go. So you cannot. Then when you think about the wealth creation journey, it is very personal. I cannot be you. What ticks you can, maybe it's not what ticks me. So let's say, for example, for me, I like creating memories with my kids. So that is very important to me. So as I look at all these other things, at least that has to come in. So you need to be able to look at your goals as an individual and document those as per you. Do not compare. Then the other thing is, as you come up with this, know that there are things that you'll give and take. So just like the normal conversation about work-life balance, what exactly is it? Does it really exist? So it's the same thing as personal finance. Make sure that you understand what you want and how you are going to get there. So that is very important.
Let me just delve on that a little bit, because taking stock, it means I need to also evaluate how much is coming in or how much I have before I make any of those extra decisions, right?
Yes.
I'm getting you right?
Yes.
How can this as well apply to someone who has invested into a business and is hoping to create an empire out of it and create wealth as well?
Yes.
Is it similar?
Yes, it is. It is similar, because you see, at the end of, if you look at the business, the conversation is, how much am I getting out of this business? Or what is the projection? And what and what is the projection? So this is what I have today, and how much time am I investing in this time in this business? Because you remember, when you think about the way we come, the starting point of creating wealth is actually an income coming in. The way we create income is either through passive investments, or we have passive income coming in, or we have active, whereby I'm trading my time for money. So if I'm 100% in the business, then that is the large source of my income. So the question is this for this particular business, this is where I want it to go. But in the process, for me as an individual, because you see, the business and myself are different. The goals of the business are very different from my goals. Right? They could converge, but they are very different. Because I want to run a business that can stand on its own, for me to be able to do what I love. Maybe I love the business, and most of it will be there, but I also want to have options with my time. So I want to make sure that I'm creating a business that 100% depends on itself, whether I'm in or not. And some of the ways to do that is making sure that you're looking at the pillars of running a successful business and working on them. Then for most of us, when we're running a business, one of the challenges that we end up having is that we're also not drawing income for ourselves. So, japata bakshishi or something like that, you know.
You don't pay yourself.
You're not paying yourself. Yes, you're not paying yourself. So then what ends up happening is that you commingle your finances, and when you have a challenge, you actually think that the money of the business is yours. So it is both ways. Such that when you have a challenge, you're using your money, and then when you have excess money, you're overfunding your business, so at your expense. So getting that balance is important. So in the wealth creation, and you're looking at where you are, it is looking at your time and looking at the resources. So if you're running a business, it will ask, how much can I get, and how else can I invest this money, so that I'm not also, because businesses also die because of too much capital. So you need to make sure that you have just sufficient to squeeze it and make it move to the next part.
And grow it as well.
Yes, and grow it,
So anybody who is watching me and is employed is an active income earner, because they're trading their time to get the money.
Yes.
But you're saying the beauty is once you can create some passive income for yourself.
Well, at it.
I like that. I'm taking notes. Okay. Let's talk about opportunities, because I know our viewers are really waiting to hear what opportunities exist. But before we get into the opportunities, I thought, are there some behavioral changes that are needed for people to, even before jump into the opportunities? Because we have had people who go and then they're out. Are there some certain mindset things that are needed before you just get into that? We have taken stock and we've seen, okay, I need to get better. But before then, there's something that needs to change around the person.
Yes. Success is 100. I think most of it is really determined by your attitude and your mindset, right? So you need to work on your mindset and start saying, you know what, I want to start my journey to wealth creation. I've not been investing.
Yeah.
I need to work on it.
Okay.
The way to work on it is to first tell myself, yes, this is something I need to do. I always give an example of when we start we're employed, the first job that we get, maybe I'm lucky, and I just use this as an example. Yeah. I earn 50,000, for example.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good starting job.
That's a good starting
but let's just for argument's sake. So for this particular person who's earning 50,000, if you tell them to follow the budgeting rule whereby I have to save 20% or 10% of my income, for sure they'll be like, no, I'll save when I get to 100K.
Yes.
So they don't do it, right?
Yeah.
So they don't do it with this 50. But if you don't do it with the 50, trust you me, even when you get to 100, you will not do it.
It will not work.
So it is more of a mindset. Wow. And when you think about, let me just use yourself, you're supposed to just save maybe 10% of your income.
Yeah.
Your life at 45,000 and your life at 50,000 is very the same.
Wow.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Whether you have your take home, you're spending on 45, or your neighborhood where you live, it won't change significantly.
It won't change,
where you hang out, maybe it will change slightly, because maybe when people are going for an expensive lunch, when
you can join in.
You just like, okay, once in a while I'll do it. Some days I'll carry food. So it has to start with the mind. And unless you work on the mind, you might not be able to move that journey.
Okay.
If you're getting into entrepreneurship, the same thing, because it is going to be a lot of sacrifice, and do not expect a quick win. It has to be for the long haul. Yeah. So again, that does not come with the money. It comes more with the working your mind to know that this is for the long term.
I need to do this. You're right. Yes. Okay. I think I agree with you, because sometimes I wish I started early. That's what I keep saying. But let's now move on now and jump into the opportunities that you see. Assuming now this person has taken their stock, they got set mind, I need to do this. And I think from what you're saying is that there's nothing too small. You can start from wherever you are, right? I think that's the message that you're speaking about, right?
Yes.
So let's get into opportunities that exist, opportunities that are there.
I think let me focus on the passive sort of income and the opportunities that are there. Yeah. I think I always say start with what you can and start with the least risk that you need to undertake.
Okay.
So by that is you cannot run before you crawl. Yeah. So what is the right place to start whereby you are crawling and learning on the process? Yeah. So at that point, then you need to look at the least risk assets, which are largely the money market funds. You can do the money market fund, your treasury bills, your treasury bonds. Yeah. But the conversation again still goes to what am I starting to achieve? What do I want to achieve? And when you look at the hierarchy of investments, the first point is I'm cash flow managing, and then I'm creating my emergency fund. So when I'm creating my emergency fund, what are the right portfolios to go there? So then at that point, you're looking at your money market fund. So decide who do you partner with on that particular side. Yeah. Then once you've already taken care of your basics, now you can take a little bit more risk and now look at your shares, look at your real estate investment trusts, because then you need more time for you to realize your return. So that time you can actually now invest. You don't need that money in the next 1, 2, 3 years. So you can be there for the long haul. Okay. The beauty is there are different avenues or there are different providers of the same. So decide who is the partner that I'm going to work with. Yeah. So for me, in as much as what to invest is important, deciding the partner to walk the journey with is very important. Okay. Yes.
Great. I think my technical team is telling me this is something that we can see. I think maybe it's actually some of the works that you've done. People are checking it out. Please share it out. It would be nice for people to see it out. And a lot of comments as well. Stanley Mwangi, thanks a lot. James Kariuki as well. Feel free. Today we have Elizabeth Nkukuu. And you can see her website there. She's also an anchor, strategist to turn uncertainty to competitive advantage. Beautiful, well put, and the book is here as well. And she has told us you can reach out to her as well. She'll be telling us how after this, but you can check it out. James, I'll get to your questions. I can see people even asking about MMF and all those kind of things. I think today you're on the spot. You're going to help them out. But let's get back to some of the opportunities you've said. Let's start with low risk, and I've heard you mention a few of them. Just to tell guys, I mean, we're in partnership with MoneyWise, and Rena Hicks has also done tremendous interviews on some of these areas. So please go back to the interviews that we have had before on this platform, and she has explained in great detail some of these particular areas where you can go and really get something out. So let's talk about the money bit of it, because I want to make personal wealth, or I want to grow my business so that it can make me wealth. From what you've said, whatever you have, you can start. So I feel like there's a discipline, because you mentioned 10%, you mentioned the 20%. Savings, the culture. We want to develop that, because it feels you cannot start thinking about creating wealth if you're not saving. Is that true?
It's true. Because the starting point is saving, and saving will not make you rich or will not make you wealthy. Yeah. But you must start there, because it is the ability to say, I can wait. Yeah. And that ability to say, I can wait, is the starting point. Yeah. And almost like delayed gratification. If you cannot delay your gratification, then there's a challenge. Yeah. Yes.
Let's debunk some lies, because constantly, I mean, these are new things that are coming up, the money markets, all these ways of, getting some passive income coming your way, the bonds and all those kind of things. But there's still a lot of people outside there who believe in the old ways of, making your own money and stuff like that. And I'm sure from where you see it, you see people make mistakes, and they're like, you better wake up. Are there some you could highlight, one or two? I know there could be many that you see people making today in this season, and you're telling them, hey, you better be careful. Any red flags or mistakes that you see?
Let me not say about other people, let me talk about myself.
It would be nice to hear that.
So there is always this notion that for you to make money, then you must be invested in real estate. I fully agree. You have to be invested in real estate at some point, but it should not be your default for your emergency portfolio.
Everybody's building.
Everybody's building, but do not be everybody. Just know why they are building, right? Yeah. So and building is even better than buying the plots and waiting for it to appreciate. Yeah. Because wait until the day you need that money, and you have very many appreciated plots, but you have no cash flow. Oh no. So it is really good to just understand, as I'm starting off, what do I really want to achieve? I'm not saying do not invest in real estate, but I'm just saying it is not your emergency portfolio. Yeah. So one of the biggest challenge we have is we end up investing because other people are doing it, and not necessarily knowing why we are doing it. So that's the biggest mistake. You remember about the coil business? We all got into it. We don't even know what exactly, where we were taking the eggs or anything. So do not follow the crowd. Understand yourself. And that is the biggest challenge we face. And because we have been told maybe this share is going to do well, we jump into it without necessarily understanding how that is going to go. Yeah. So always take time, do your research. And the beauty about this time, information age, there is so much information. Yeah. So you cannot say I invested because I did not do, I did not, I invested out of, I could not get information. Yeah. For me, the other thing is about trusting people. You need to learn to do your work. Okay. Yeah, that is a big, that can be a big wealth. Almost like disintegrating your wealth, because people will come and tell you this is happening, this is not happening. Please just do your work. Do your work. So those are the two key things. Know why you're investing. Do not trust people. Do your work.
Hey. So by that last point of doing your work, are you saying people need to do an intrinsic check on themselves, what skills they have and things that they thrive by themselves, and either focus on that more, or are you talking about doing? I want to expand that on that, just doing the work more, because I don't want anybody missing it out, because I'm also taking my own internal notes. Can you expand a bit more?
I come to you, I tell you, this investment makes a lot of sense. Oh. And I just go, I naturally, or maybe this financial advisor comes and tells you, this is the way to go. Yeah. Do you know why they're saying this is the way to go? Yeah. Maybe just try ask them why and why and why and when. By the time you're getting to number 5, why, you know why exactly you need to invest. So what I'm saying is just make sure that you're asking the questions. Okay, good. Do not just jump in.
Like do your homework.
Do your homework.
Don't just jump in.
Do not jump. And no, and actually ask yourself, is this getting me closer to where I want to go or further? Yeah. Yes.
I have a question for my viewers. Are you saving? How much have you saved? Because if nothing there, then I don't know what we're talking about. I mean, it's a good one for them to think through. Let me just read some comments from people who are watching as well. Henry Nganga following. Information is power. Thanks a lot, Henry Nganga, as well. I think I've seen some other people as well who have sent some of their. Jaya Ruben, nice to see you, Liz. And I think that's a friend. She's very good with investments, a gem in the investments industry. Boom. That's somebody in Jaya. It's good. Those are testimonials that we need across here. I'll be coming to your questions, and feel free as well to interact. Now, we've spoken about the red flags and the 3 things that you need to do. The last one hit me hard. Do your homework or just jump in, because people just jump in, you know, without even thinking. And we have seen people scammed, losing a lot of money and those kind of things. Let me ask you, what do you say, because we have a lot of investment opportunities outside there, some that are coming by the day. Let me just give an example. Guys made a lot of money, especially guys who bought those Bitcoins in those times. Sometimes I feel very bad because I remember the first time I was told many years back, I was like, what is this? And then some people got in and they made good money. Now there's some people who are jumping in, I think as late as last year, and then they have been losing money. And they're thinking, what did I do to myself and the likes? I wanted to send a comment on that. What are the lessons we should learn from that whole thing? And by the way, have you invested in it?
No, I have not invested in Bitcoin because I do not understand it.
Okay.
And when you think about investment, I always look at it. I keep telling people there are three things that you look in investments.
Yeah.
What is the return that I'm getting?
Yeah.
The return that I'm getting has to be supported by something. So if I'm telling you I'm going to give you 10%, what is the underlying asset? Because you're not in the business of making me money. You're in the business of making yourself money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So make sure that you understand this return is how it's being generated, and this is how I'm splitting it with you. So ask yourself, what is the underlying investment?
Yeah.
Because I could not understand the underlying investment. I have read about Bitcoin. I have watched videos, and I'm still. And I know I will get there. It's just that maybe I'm a laggard. But when someone asks me about it, I think it makes sense. But you remember the hierarchy of investments, whereby I'm starting with the cash flow management, my emergency. There is a portion of your portfolio that you can take and invest in the risky assets and say, if it goes barely up, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. But you need to make sure that your asset allocation is such that you can see tomorrow, even after you lose today, that portion.
I like that.
So even for the people who have invested in Bitcoin, I think the ones who started, most of the success stories would be the ones who took a very small portion of their portfolio. They could withstand the volatility. But if you cannot withstand the volatility, please don't get in. We will get you maybe out of Madare or something. So there's no point. Just make sure that you follow your stage.
Don't just jump in.
Don't jump in. And then when you're jumping in, do not jump in with both legs.
Yeah.
You can test the waters as you learn.
There you have it. Guys, I'm just about to get to a place where you feel free to ask any questions that you have, because Elizabeth is here and is going to help us to really understand and get to know what it is that we need to understand and grow our wealth. Let me talk to business people, because I think we have dwelt more on even the persona, and I know business is also owned by people, so definitely it works out.
Yes.
But I want you to speak to someone who has just started a business and they can see it growing, and sometimes they debate, do I reinvest back to the business or do I start even saving now? Because for them, there could be these savings are supposed to even build that business. So there's a bit of an oxymoron there where you wonder what to do with it. And we mentioned a little bit of you need to pay yourself a bit and all those kind of things. Where's the balance? How do they create this balance?
So I'll go back to profit first methodology, which tells you once you get money into the business, how you're supposed to use it.
Yeah.
So you need to have like 5 accounts for your business. So where you're looking at a portion that goes to you as an entrepreneur, you're looking at something that goes to you in terms of your OPEX, you're looking at your profits, and you're looking at paying KRA or paying your tax. So this all accounts to avoid your cash flow issues, then you need to make sure that they are well taken care of. So the portion that is your profit, that can be reinvested back into the business. Because you need to, the profit part can help you grow your business. And most of the time, that is what will really propel you to the next level. So, but remember, you cannot be able to do that if you as an individual, you're suffering. So there is still a portion of your business money that is you're paying yourself that you need to invest. So you have to carry all this along. Because if, for example, let's take an example, you have invested all the income that you are getting back into the business. Something happens to you as an individual. What happens to your family?
Oh my.
So
that's very sad.
So you need to make sure that you're balancing the two. And the way to do that is really come up with clear sort of percentages of each. I need to get maybe 20% of the income comes to me as the entrepreneur, 20% comes in as my operating costs, that includes your staff costs, and then it goes on that way. So you cannot start and say, I will reinvest in it, everything, no. And I know it's a very difficult issue, and again, it goes back to the mindset, whereby you need to be comfortable that I will grow slower because as an individual also needs to grow as the business is growing.
Absolutely. Okay. Kenyans have been duped in very many ways. and most of them are watching as well. Is there a current thing that you've seen coming in your life? Guys, do your homework before you get into it. I know I give my own crypto thing, but I know that's a global one. Is there some that you can point out before I get to the questions?
No, I think for me it's I think what maybe that has been there for a long time would be maybe things like real estate. I want to invest in XYZ. I want to buy a plot somewhere. And for me, then real estate comes in as a big thing because you cannot be able to unwind.
Yeah.
And once you've already bought that particular thing, it might not work out. That is one. And also now when people get into pre-sales and all that, please do your homework and understand who is it that you're working the journey with and how are they going to get it done.
Okay.
Because we all want to own a home for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And we all want to. So ask yourself, where do I want to own this home and how am I getting closer there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get to the questions now. One of the persons asking, can you share a major challenge you ever encountered when investing and leading your company? Any challenge personally that you faced? I don't know, you're on the spot by questions.
Yes, that's. I think for me, the biggest challenge, and it's something that I'm working on, is trusting people. And that's why for me it was a big lesson that I bring here.
Guilty of that.
So trusting people, and someone tells you, you know what, give me this money, I'm going to give you X%, it is a big problem for me. So what then I have decided to do, the issue is not even an investment person, the investment bit, it is the individual.
Yeah.
So how do you work on yourself to make sure that you're holding yourself to ask questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever I come and tell you, you know what, I'm going to do, I did quail business.
Yeah.
I didn't know where they went. So I was just told these things are working. So I trust first.
Yeah.
So that for me is the biggest problem.
Okay. Yeah. I'm taking in your questions, so feel free to send. There's another one asking, how can one create, this is an interesting one, how can one create wealth? How can one create a wealth creation journey? I think you will get the question within the question.
Yeah.
Without savings and money.
You cannot.
You cannot. Thank you for your question, but you have to get somewhere, right? But I think where they can start saving first.
First, earn an income. Make sure that at least you have income coming in, and then from that income, make sure that you're saving. And then saving is the first step. Then invest, and then learn.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Another question here: what advice would you give to help others thrive and not burn out? And I think it's because of your book. We'll be talking about the book in a few seconds. But what advice can you give to help others thrive and not burn out?
It's a journey and it's a process.
Yeah.
Do not expect to get to where maybe Chege is, and I'm just starting.
Yes.
So remember, everybody has their own path. Make sure that you lay it down and wake up every day following it. Again, divide it into small wins and celebrate the small wins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Celebrate the small wins. Before I get to any other question that I'm seeing, let me just go to this one first. Stanley saying, morning guys, I'm Stanley Mwangi, watching from Kahawa and Dani, Nairobi outskirts. I'm very grateful for the financial knowledge you released to us. Okay, and this is more like a comment. Thank you so much, Stanley. James from Ruiru, I'd like to hear about money generation. Okay, yeah, good one. Yeah, we need to hear much about MMF. What are they talking about?
Okay.
So the MMF.
The MMF is the money market fund.
Oh, I'm also learning.
Yes.
Go on.
So the money market funds are short-term so they are sort of liquidity management funds. So they are pooled funds whereby you put your money and then you get a return.
Yeah.
The beauty about the money market fund, most of them you can get your money instantly. It's like you're working wallet, but that is earning you something.
Okay.
So instead of having my money in a current account whereby I'm paying the bank, I put it with an investment bank, with an investment manager, and then I'm earning something in between 8 to 10%. So why should I do that?
Okay.
The reason is because you make your money work for you. Every single shilling can make a difference for you.
Okay.
So that is the way to go. So the way you know where to invest,
Yeah.
they are all listed in the various newspapers.
Yeah.
So you can just look and say, which brand do I care for or do I trust? And then you can walk the journey with them.
So James Karaoke has expounded in his desk and asked Elizabeth to break down to us how much should we as hustlers invest in the MMF as a startup investment? How much to top up regularly or monthly? And for how long should I wait for tangible profit? That's a deep question, James.
Good. So where should you start? You see, it is dependent with the income that you have. So I cannot say put 5,000 every month and yet that's not what you have.
Yeah.
So what then you need to do is look at how much money do I make. Out of the money that I make net, can I be able to do 20% of that? If 20% of that is 1,000, start and then be consistent.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be monthly. I could go get a deal, a nice, I've just done something nice, push that money there. Before, I think it is, it's something that we used to say when we were in college, that I'm bringing my money to manageable levels, sort of thing, and that was consumption. So if you can bring your money to manageable levels by putting in a money market fund, assume that I don't have this money. Yeah. Then you are good. You see, the challenge is when you have money in cash or in your M-Pesa, someone will get used for your money. They will just like, become wanaona you have something. So they will just come and borrow that money and you'll end up giving it. But if that money is somewhere, you won't even feel bad saying you don't have it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope it's clear, James. If you have any other follow-up question, you can send it right away. Let's talk about your book. What should people expect to get out of it? Strategies to turn uncertainty to competitive advantage, thrive, anchoring your financial freedom. My goodness, I love it. It looks good.
It is really a step-by-step journey to wealth creation. And the way we've looked at it is all the way from taking stock. This is where I'm starting, coming up with goals. This is how I invest. But remember, it does not end at investing. I will retire at some point, and retiring is not age 60. Retiring is stopping. It's not doing what I'm doing for an income. I'm doing it because I love it. Then we have had a lot of stories about people have worked hard, then their kids are fighting for their money. So we cover all the way to estate planning. What should I do today to make sure that my money is in the right hands when I'm no more? Okay. Then things about taxation. Remember, one of the largest expense that you have as a business or as an individual is taxation. How do I do it legally to reduce my taxation?
Okay. Yeah. Great. There's another question here. I think it's a follow-up on the MMF. I think people are feeling MMF today, money market funds. What MMF investment opportunities do we have currently? Are there any that exist so that they can jump in?
Yes, there's so many of them that exist.
So many.
So when you think about most of the fund managers, they have their money market fund. When you speak, and some of these will be affiliated to insurance companies. So those are the ones maybe would know more about. So the CIC is the market leader in terms of assets under management. We have your Sanlams, you have your Cyton, you have your UAP, your Britam. So what you need to do is look at two things. When you're coming up with the money market fund, there are two things that you need to look at. What is the brand I want to be associated with or I want to associate with, and what is the return? Remember, at the end of the day is what comes to your pocket that matters. So you do your analysis and say, this is the person I want to do. So in terms of demystifying and whether it is a risky investment or not, it is good to understand the regulatory framework of the money market funds. So you have the regulator looking at it. The regulator is the Capital Markets Authority. You have a trustee who looks after your interest, because I want to make sure that the investment manager is doing the right thing by me so that I can get the return. I want to be secured. So you have a trustee who does that on your behalf. You have the custodian. Remember, the fund manager is not holding your money. Someone else holds that money to make sure that it's in safe custody. And then you have the fund manager or the promoter.
We're about to close this conversation. I'm just looking at any other question that may have been sent. I hope to share you have heard from that. But I think what is key here is you need to do your homework to know what brand you want to associate with. Because we have had people as well who have jumped in to MMFs that have ended up, consuming their money. We've seen people complaining. I don't want to mention names. But you want to do your homework, and I think walk hand in hand with a proper investment advisor that will tell you this is proper, this is good, and all that. Is it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can't insist that any better. I think the rest are just comments from people. I hope I've not missed out on anybody's question. If you have it, I still got a minute as we get Elizabeth's part in short. There you have it. Where can people find this book? They want one.
You can order directly from our website. Online, we deliver within Nairobi. We have some in Savani's bookshop, Nuria. Yeah. Great.
How much is it?
It's going for that 1,300.
1,300.
You can start the journey.
And mafuta imepanda, so it's okay. That's a good one. I like it. I like the look and feel. Guys, I believe this will be very, very, very much important. Let me just give them a tidbit on what to expect, all right? And I think you talked about creating wealth pillars. You mentioned something of that sort. And I think, what pillar do you have, first of all? I was just looking at some of the chapters around it. It talks about financial goal setting, understanding your financial net worth, budget creation, debt management. Oh, you need to comment on that. Investment solutions, real estate investment and home ownership. I think we've mentioned on that. Investing for retirement, tax planning, estate planning. Now, I don't know, because I still have about 5 more minutes to wait for any other question. You can see from the website, I think you can see where to get the book from. What is your quick comment? Just quick comments, right? Quick comments on debt management.
Debt is not bad. What you use debt for is the problem.
Okay.
The reason why we have a debt issue, most of us, is because we took debt for consumption.
Yeah.
I go to your place, I see this nice sofa set, and I'm like, okay, fine, I can afford it.
Yeah.
No, I cannot afford it, but I can. There is a plan to afford it.
Yeah.
So I get to buy into that. So that is a no-no.
Okay.
If you are borrowing for investment purposes, then that is a good thing. If you find yourself in a debt situation, it's not the end of the world. You can actually sit down and say, I am now bringing down my debt problem to something that is manageable. Okay. Why did we get here? Because you want to compare, and because debt is easily available. When you think about digital, what is it called, digital borrowing, someone is just telling you, you can take 10K from us.
Easily.
Or actually, Fuliza is the best thing. You always have your Fuliza 5K or something. Yeah. So that's how, I think for us, we need to be intentional about the borrowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we could have a whole session on budget creation, but I'd like you to make a point on that as well.
It is good to create a budget.
Yes.
And the budget, there is basic rules, which is 20, 30, and 50, how you use your money. But remember, situations are different and unique depending on the path that you are in.
Yeah.
So if you think that the 20, 50, 30 rule does not apply to you, the question is, how are you working the journey to make it work?
Okay.
So if I'm straight from college, I have 20,000, it can't work for me, but I need to see a path towards it making sense. And the budget should not make you live like a pauper. It should make you live a life that you would like to live.
There you go. Don't say too much. Anyway, I'm just saying. Final comment, and I know I've just mentioned many other areas that you guys will find out from the book. Investing for retirement. What did you say on that?
Retirement is not an age. It is when we have to, it's what we need. It's getting to a destination where we are doing what we like doing. Yeah. So the question is, what is that and what am I doing towards it? So if I need to retire at age 50 and I still have 24 hours, so I need to realize that I need 24 hours that I need to fill when I'm retiring. So I need to know what is the economic activity I'll be undertaking and what am I doing towards it. Then at the end of the day, I think it's come to a point whereby we are our own retirement package. It's not a time when kids used to support their parents. So you need to make sure that you're working for it today. Okay. And the beauty is there are various avenues that you can do it, and they come with very many benefits. So just start.
You're right. And I'm sure if you want to check, I think even on the MoneyWise channel, Rina has interviewed a few people who are doing great in terms of ensuring people have good investments for their retirement. Final question from James. Do we need a broker to connect us to the investor? I think he's still talking about the MMF.
No. You don't need actually for money market funds, you can go directly to the firms that you want to work with. They have financial advisors. You don't need a broker. Yeah. You don't need a broker at all. Okay. Yeah.
Part in short now. What would you tell everybody who's watching? We have quite a number of people who are online. What's your part in short?
I think wealth creation, you have to purpose, and it is possible. It does not matter where you are, whether you have an income or not. You need to actually decide, this is where I'm going, because it starts with the mind. Then since it starts with the mind, you have to take a path, walk the path, and give it time to materialize. Do not just say that because I'm investing in the money market fund, I'm only making 100 shillings. What is the point? It's a journey of consistency, and it's a long-term game. So remember, you have your own journey. Make sure that you start it today. If you should have started it yesterday, but if you haven't started it, today is never too late, and you can walk that journey to completion. For most of this information, again, all of them written. I have a lot of asset classes. Go to my personal website. You'll be able to get a lot of information on the same. Okay.
Maybe I could ask the team to show that website one more time. And how else can people reach you? Are you on social media anywhere else?
Yes, I'm on social media.
Yes.
You can go directly to my personal Facebook, which is a page, Elizabeth Nkukuu, or you find me on my LinkedIn. You can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel. We talk about a lot of investment conversation and running businesses. So happy to connect.
There you have it, guys. You want to thrive, you want to get some wealth for yourself, make sure at least you can see that. And I think we have shown you the steps of how to go directly to that website, as you can see on the screen. Elizabeth Nkukuu, amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's been an honor having you there. And I just hope you got something out of it. Let me just see. James Kareki is saying, I'm so thankful for the rare opportunity of learning such important tips. I like the notion. Age is just a number. I know I can make myself retire at 40. That's a good one to end with there. Thanks, James. And James, you already earned a new follower because you said I'm following you now. Let me see if there's any other comment that I missed out. But just to appreciate you guys for your time. That's what we had for you. Next week we shall be having another conversation as well to make you better, to make your business better. Thank you so much. That has been BizTalks, and shout out as well to Manwise for allowing us as well to reach out to their fans. Bye-bye and have a lovely weekend.